Booktube, it's Kate here for a video I'm very excited to do. I know we have all heard the phrase, or maybe have even said the phrase, it just ticked all the boxes for me, or it checked all the boxes for me. So then I started thinking about, what are my bookish boxes? So I thought that would be fun to talk to you guys about the things that when I hear that term, I immediately perk up and am definitely interested in the book. Not to say that if it doesn't have those terms that I'm not interested in the book, but this just draws my attention right away and makes me definitely want to investigate that book more. I realized just before I was filming this that this is kind of a selfish thing too, because when I list these bookish boxes, you guys can give me recommendations based on the things that I like. So I made a list of 20 things, and I think actually I could probably have made a lot longer list, so maybe in the future I'll do a second video, and maybe in the future actually I'll do the opposite, so things that immediately put me off. So I have 20 items for my bookish boxes, but I realized that they basically all had a common theme once I was done, and that is romantic. I'm going to link a good article on what is romantic down below, and I mean the classical term like romanticism. And I was looking around and I found this article from a university, and I thought it was a good one. Basically, romanticism is an escape from the everyday and things that seem extra, not things that would be in the everyday, like extra wonderful, extra fantastical. That's what I love. I just love an escape when I read a book, and I love things that are intense in emotions and landscape, and you'll see as I give the list kind of what an idea when I say romantic, what I mean. So the first is nature, and that includes gardens, and I just love plants and flowers, and seeing that be a part of the story, and seeing a character that loves that and loves to nurture a garden and really make it work, or like in The Secret Garden, a garden that's been forgotten and then it's going to be taken care of again. That's one that really interests me. The next one is female friendships / sisters. I just love seeing that. I love seeing women have strong connections and relationships with other women. It's really fun to me, and that's one reason why Little Women is one of my favorite books. And then going along with that are groups of friends. I love to see groups of friends hanging out together, having relationships, getting to know one another, doing things together, going out together. That's just really fun to me. I love to feel like I'm kind of a part of their group and one of their friends too, so I think that's one reason I like it. And then the next one is traveling, preferably through dramatic landscape like mountains or desert. So that's the reason why I love the traveling in The Lord of the Rings. Tolkien's passages, especially in The Fellowship of the Ring, on traveling, I felt like I didn't deserve to read his writing. It was so beautiful. And another one that's really good for traveling was this Amelia Peabody series that I just started, where they go through Egypt. Also, so enjoying hearing about the traveling and the different landscapes that are in the Wheel of Time series. There's some really crazy things that are in the Wheel of Time series, so it's just been good fun. So the next is countries that really I perk up and am interested in, and that's England / the UK / India / France. So those are countries that immediately hold my interest. The next is cozy houses. I love to see people cozy, and I am a homebody, so I guess maybe that's why I like to see them doing what I like to do. Murder. You guys know I like murder mysteries, and there's something about, maybe it's the type of author that's attracted to writing about murder. I like what they write. Subtle romance. So I do not like romances with big steamy scenes. I'm like, nah, it just puts me off. So I like things where they get together, like in Jane Austen, and he touches her hand. That's the type of romance I like. You're gonna maybe be surprised by this one. Members of the clergy. So as a Protestant who has grown up Protestant, there is something about the Anglican Church specifically that is very romantic to me. I love hearing people wax eloquently about the Bible and about God, and wax eloquently in sermons, and for some reason in my mind, when it's a member of the clergy specifically, they just seem wiser to me. I don't know what it is. It's just, I think it's also because of how long the church has been around. Things that have tradition and have been around for a long time seem more romantic to me. And the next are lakes or oceans. I like stories that take place by lakes or oceans. I feel like characters are more contemplative by water, like just reflecting back on the past, and it just seems like the bodies of water that are in books end up becoming their own sort of characters in books, if that makes sense. Next is the Cinderella riches to rags type story, but still ends up having a happy ending. I don't know what it is exactly about this story that I like so much, but I just love the Cinderella trope. So the story of Cinderella I love, Ella Enchanted, I love it. Yeah, I love it. Next is quirky characters. So characters that have little funny quirks about them. A couple months ago I read Wild Strawberries by Angela Thirkle, and there's a character named Gudgeon who he is a servant and he loves to ring the gong before lunch, and for a little while he isn't allowed to ring the gong and it just tears him up inside, and then eventually he's able to ring the gong before lunch and he's so excited. Friends on quests. So, Lord of the Rings is going to be an obvious choice there. But then I like the friends being all together. So then the breaking of the fellowship is always so heartbreaking. I'm like, I don't want all the friends to be apart. Why does everybody have to be apart? And the same thing in the Wheel of Time. I love it. I loved it in the first book when like the whole group was all together. And so I like friends, groups of friends going on journeys together. Literary references. I loved in the Flavia de Luce books how she was talking about Dickens. I love hearing about people reading. And in Jane Austen's books, actually, books are referenced a fair amount of the time, and I really enjoy that. The preparation and making of food. So I don't know what it is about this. I think just food interests me, and also where food comes from. So I just love, in the Little House on the Prairie books, that's a really good example. You hear about them slaughtering the pig and using the different parts and how they use every single part of that pig. And so that's really interesting to me. And I think seeing people working hard, I really admire. Traditions being celebrated. I like seeing people gather together and enjoying things, and also learning about traditions that I wouldn't necessarily know about, like Christmas in other countries or Michaelmas, which, I've never celebrated. So just hearing about different traditions I really enjoy. And then big historical buildings like cathedrals or castles. I think these are just really dramatic and really stand out and romantic. So that's why I enjoy them. Intense weather like snowstorms or rainstorms or really windy weather. It just seems more romantic, very like Wuthering Heights Bronte feel to it, and I really appreciate that. It's like I feel like the characters and the emotions are more intense the more intense the weather is, if that makes sense. Or if it isn't that, it's that they're inside being cozy in their cozy house. And people having fun together. It sounds so cheesy, but I love that. I love seeing characters getting to have fun together and hanging out. And then also a historical setting. I love me some historical fiction and just really enjoy old-fashioned classic settings. So I hope that you guys have enjoyed this. I know it's kind of random, but I would be curious to see if you have any of the same bookish boxes and if you have any recommendations based on that. And also, if you think you have some really unique bookish boxes that you are immediately interested in a book if it lists one of those things. I hope you guys have enjoyed this video, and I will see you for another video soon. Bye-bye.